Basics and overview we have already covered it, but just we'll be going through it once again for the introduction part and all. I have already shared this link with you guys so that you can go through it, understanding what is.
Hi, Beben.
Okay, anyone was speaking?
Today is not the first session.
We have Murad. We have already completed the introduction and overview session. So the core topics that are going to be started from today. So yeah, overview and introduction part is completed. You can go through the recordings. We have the recordings, and if you feel that you need to connect or understand the things, then you can connect with me one to one. So there are a few people in this session, those who are connecting with me one to one for their doubt clarifications.
Okay.
So we can
Uh, Vipin, how do we access the recordings?
recordings. I'll be sharing the link one to one means or in the group chat. We have WhatsApp group. From there you can access the recordings. I'll be sharing it in the serial form that which one is first and which one is last.
Okay, thank you.
So coming to the part that we have already covered, we have covered about the overview and how Intune works and what is the requirement of the Intune in the market currently. These things we have already covered it. And last Sunday we covered creating the users. So user creation is completed. That how do we create the user? As I told, that we are creating the user in the intra portal. So let me resume the lab. We create the users in the intra portal. I'll be resharing the notes also which I have prepared so that the new members, those who have joined in, they can also go through it. And then post that we did the license assignation. Licenses are required to be assigned to avail the services. Then registration and joining to the intra, that we did the practicals. We understood that what is the registration part. Bring your own device registration means enrolling the devices to the organization environment. Today, what we are going to learn as per the lab material, that how we create the users in bulk with the help of the PowerShell. So going forward, I'll just do the recap of the things. Creating users in Entra ID, we created the users. Okay, then we modified the user operations in their name, surname, job title, department, everything we modified it. So I have one query from the attendees, those who have attended the previous sessions, that why do we mention the job title, departments, and first name, last name, or location for users when we are creating the users? Anyone?
Sorry, Vipin. So why we have created different
No, 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 that's
type
not
of?
the question.
Uh-huh.
Why we assign the uh, roles designations to the users? Why we mention roles and designation to the users? Or why we put so many details for the users? What is the requirement? Why we do so? Yeah, Murad.
So if we going to deploy any updates or applications, we can deploy it through the rules.
Okay. Yeah, Murad, you wanted to speak?
I think these attributes are important in case we need to use the dynamic group assignment.
Correct, correct. Man, you are already prepared with the things I expect. So yeah, it is right. So that we can use the dynamic things. We can create the dynamic groups with the help of those details. If you are only creating the identity or the user, so you will have that identity with your what we call with your domain name, means at the rate and your domain organization domain. So that identity will only be there, and you won't be able to separate the users with the in respective to their organization, in respective to their department and their role. So that is also required, because let's take an example. In your organization, it is asked that particular department should have the access to a particular set of the applications. So how you gonna bifurcate those set of the users? If you have defined their departments in their profile creation, so you can directly create a dynamic group, and then you can assign that required application which is required to them. So that's the main agenda why we configure those settings. I'm resharing my screen. We will quickly do the recap, and then new topic I'll start. So these things we have already done it: creation of the user assignments, and then saving whatever we have configured it. Coming to the PowerShell thing. So sometimes there is a requirement that you have to create the end users. In the bulk there are 100 users. You have the list of the names of the users, and you have to perform that thing. So for that we have the functionality and we have the feasibility of PowerShell, which can be used to create the new users in the environment. Now how we gonna do that? So there is PowerShell 7.54 that we are going to install in the device. This is MSI. I'll be sharing this document as well, preparing in a Word document so that you can follow this and proceed with the same steps in your tenant. So I'll be just putting out a form in WhatsApp chat so that everyone can answer whether their tenant is ready, means they have their own tenant or not. If they don't have their tenant, I will be creating the users on behalf of them. So instead of doing it again and again for one person at a time, I'll be doing at a time for everyone if I'll have the information. Okay, so I'll be doing that post session. As of now, we are proceeding with it. The MSI PowerShell should be there. Okay, it's already there in my device. Okay, it's not there. Okay. So one more thing, if you have the PowerShell, then also you should have the Microsoft Graph API so that it is connected with your tenant. And once it is connected with your tenant, then only if you'll create the users or identities in the PowerShell, it will reflect in your intra. Meanwhile, it is getting created. I'll see that what will be the next topic that we are going to learn. So, did I discuss about the security part and managing and protecting devices from the configuration profile perspective?
No.
Yeah, I haven't covered that. So, we were just configuring the devices, their enrollment, we were understanding. So, I'm just taking out the theory thing as of now. Moving ahead in the lab, we'll be having the configuration profiles creation. Okay, as of now, we are only creating the users. So why configuration profile creation is really required in the environment? What is the reason behind it? Why do we need the configuration profiles? Anyone?
To restrict and manage the devices, how
First
it should
point,
behave,
to restrict.
and manage the devices,
To restrict what?
like what a user can access from the devices, resources.
Settings. To restrict settings
To
or
restrict and enforce the settings to the user devices.
I would say to control the settings and to push the configuration whatever we want on the managed devices.
control settings.
Control settings and features on
Okay.
the enrolled devices.
Anyone else?
So once profile configured on the device, we can send the policies and restrict the restrict users to install anything unwanted applications.
Okay. Deployment. Restriction. Anyone else wants to give some keywords regarding configuration profiles? Okay. So why configuration profiles are required and why the environment is asking to create it first. So configuration profiles are something which are the settings already set up in the Intune platform in form of catalogs. Okay, those settings are already there. You just have to go enable or disable it. And if you want to create some new setting, then going in deeper into the configuration profiles, we have OMA URI, OMA DM. So that is the next level thing. I'll be talking about that as well once I'll be completing the syllabus, so that at least we have the knowledge or understanding. So there are few settings which cannot be configured. For that, OMA URI and OMA DM is being used. As of now, these settings that can be configured in the environment, that can be blocked or allowed, or you want to apply any hardening, you have Edge browser. Okay, let's talk from the browser perspective. Browser, you have Edge. In Edge, all the sites, everything is allowed. Means you have your VPN also. Okay, you have your own VPN, means tunneled network. Please don't go with these spellings. So we have the tunnel networks. In the tunnel networks, you have already defined that so and so are the networks and ports. That network team has already defined it. You don't have to intervene there. And as per that, you should configure the policies for the Edge browser. What we'll be doing, we'll be configuring those settings which will be known as Edge hardening. And same way it applies to the other applications also, other settings also. If you are blocking or allowing something in the printing thing, that is called print hardening. So how it is actually connecting with your device when you are creating any policy? You might be knowing that we have services. So there are several services in the Windows devices which run to provide a particular service. So taking an example, if there is a printer service, print spooler service, which is running in the background to provide you the printing related stuffs so that you can perform the printing and all. Same applies to the other things also. Clipboard setting means you do the control C, control V, those settings, those services are also provided by the services and the services tools, whatever is there in your Windows device. So those services are also being controlled by the configuration profiles. Whether you can allow those services to run smoothly every time automatically, or you can block those services to run accordingly. It totally depends upon the requirement. So these settings and features are added to configuration profiles. You can create profiles for different devices and different platforms, including iOS, iPads, Mac OS, Android. So you know already about the platforms which are the OS platforms which are being managed by Intune. So we don't have to be confused with the servers. Intune does not manage the servers. Okay. Then use Intune to apply assign the profiles to the devices. Means whatever profiles or settings we have configured as per the requirement, we assign it and then the settings will be applied. Okay, so someone is waiting in the lobby. Okay. So this thing is done. Now, how many types of policies are there? This is very important to know. As you guys were telling, to restrict settings or to enforce something, to control settings and features that we have in Windows. I'm talking from the Windows perspective, not from iOS or Mac OS, just to avoid the confusion. Then deployment restriction means any application should be deployed or not. It should work in the device or not. Okay, these three things. And on the basis of that, the types of policies are defined. Restrict, reset, require, configure, protect, control, retire. Device policies allow the following types of action on the devices at your organization. You can restrict, you can reset something, some service. You can put any service in your organization in the required mode that it should run automatically every time. You can configure a new setting in your environment that something should look like that. Means just take an example. You can deploy the uh, wallpaper settings or something from policy that is called configuration, as an example I'm giving. Then protect, to protect you can do the hardening to block something which cannot be accessed by the end user until unless the administrator is not involved. Then controlling, if you are blocking or allowing something or giving some access to someone, then that is part of the controlling. Retire, there are few settings which are not required to be configured in the devices if you are protecting the device, so you can retire those settings with the help of the policies. So these are the things, and many a times these things are being asked in the interviews and in the exams to understand the policies perspective. So here it has given the example also. I was giving my own examples. So here we have a few examples as well. Can anyone give me example other than this for the restrict? Restrict the use of hardware features on the device such as camera or Bluetooth. Okay. One example we have. On the basis of that, anyone can give me any example of restrict.
USB.
Disable
USB.
Correct, correct. We are going good. Yeah. Anything else from anyone?
We can stop printing.
Okay.
We can stop using the personal OneDrive.
That's also good one. Okay, correct. Now coming to the reset. Reset the passcodes when users are logged out of their devices. What can be the other example of reset?
Device reset.
Device reset, yeah, Abhishek, you will talk about device reset. We are already controlling it from
Yeah.
autopilot reset thing.
Password policy.
Yeah, password policy, passcode policy. It is mainly reset passcode policy. So there are few devices, okay, that where like transactions or something is being managed, okay, and it can only be accessed by one person at once, and there is always a passcode generated for that. That passcode is shared via SMS or something. So that setting is also available, that every time the user is coming to log into the device, the passcode will be reset. Then coming to required device to be compliant with the protection requirement implemented by the organization, such as requiring each device to use PIN to access the device. Coming to the require example means you can set the compliance thing with the help of this required policies. Okay, like if the device is encrypted, then only it will be able to use the services. Encryption part, that is BitLocker encryption. If the BitLocker is encrypted, then only it will be able to use. So that is a part of the require. If the device is having the antivirus, so and so antivirus, whatever the antivirus you have defined, that antivirus is installed, then only the device will be able to use the services. That is example of require. Coming to configure compliant and non-compliant apps. Configuration part, compliant and non-compliant apps. You get an alert if a non-compliant app is installed, and some platforms can actually block the install. You are configuring a setting which can block the installation of exe or MSI. You will download the exe or MSI. If you forgot to configure the edge hardening policy to block the installation of unknown exe or MSIs, then you can configure another setting to block the unwanted applications which are not defined in those settings. So in those settings there are exe and MSIs being defined, that so and so the list of the exes and MSI that can be executed or that can run. When we launch any application,
Vipin,
yeah,
just a small question. How do we differentiate between, how do we list out the known and unknown EXCs or MSIs?
good question. So it is being provided by your organization, means it totally depends upon the requirement. If your organization wants that Google should be used in the organization, so you are not going to block that exe google.exe application to be accessed. You will allow that application, you will add that list in the allow list, that so and so application is being accessed. So you can do in two ways, whether you can add the list of the allowed applications or you can create a list of the blocked applications. Means these are the blocked application, other than this list, other applications will be applicable to be used in the organization, or vice versa. These are the list of the XCs or MSI that are allowed to be used, other than this it will be blocked. So most of the times we go with the second method, means organization is providing you that if let's take payment department is coming, or the means chemical department is coming and saying that so and so is the chemical application we are using to configure something, means whatever the functionality of application is there, and it is very much required from the business perspective, and we want this to be allowed to be used in the organization. What you will do, you will take that exe file details, you will configure that exe in the allow thing, then only that application will be allowed to be installed on the organization managed devices. So that is called configuration.
So before those installation, there would be approval, right?
Yeah, that's a process workflow. What is the process of your organization? How process wants, how management wants. So being an administrator, Intune administrator, your involvement should also be there at the management end, just to make the decisions, that there are no foolish decisions being made. Sometimes there is, means people those who are making the decisions, they are not that much technical. They will say that you allow this thing, they will say that you block this thing, but they are not aware that if we are going to do that, what's gonna happen in the background. Okay, what is going to be the end result. So if the things are known to us, we know the things, then only we can tell them, yeah, this is possible or not. If it is possible, what are the threats or what are the risks involved in this setting to be configured, then we can provide them the suggestion. So being an Intune administrator, it's not something that you have to do the technical task or perform the technical things only. you have to be technically thoughtful and technically ready to take any decision regarding any of the setting configuration, any of the application configuration, or any of the things. So it allows you to be a good consultant also, okay, related to the technology. And as of now, many of the organizations, they are also hiring the consultants, technology consultants, to just provide the consultancy, that whether they are going to apply this, it how much risk is involved, and what are the things that can that needs to be managed. So that's also there in the market. I hope I'm not diverted with the topic. So it depends that what type of questions are coming. Accordingly, I explain the things. So who asked this thing?
Chandra.
Okay, Chandra. Murad, your hand is raised. If you have any query, please let me know.
Uh,
Yeah, please let me know.
I'm fine.
Okay, yeah, Abhishek.
I'm fine. You can continue.
Okay.
Policy, what you say, controlling the apps to see in this tent, just to see how do we create that,
Controlling the applications.
right? What we just discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can we see that?
Okay, I'll show you. Just allow me one
Yeah.
minute. I have to share a link with a person. Google.com. So, you're saying about that policy, that how we configure it. What happened to this? Okay, this is our Intune. Okay, this is infra. It's a bit slow. Hmm. Windows devices configurations. So we are going to create a new policy. And new policy. So Abhishek, any example or any requirement you want to just give me?
No, just
Mozilla Firefox.
yeah, say you don't want Mozilla
Okay.
Firefox. Yeah, good one.
Browser block. They are under this configuration now.
Okay, so by default, the name will be mentioned here, right?
Yeah, if you are looking for the catalog, I'm searching under correct category or not. Okay. I'll get to know. Mhm. Administrative templates, system.
So you mean to say that we will have to create the policy for each application? Say we don't want this to work, then this
No, no, no,
policy.
no,
There
no,
is no.
not, not like that. Means
Hmm.
you just create a application blocking policy that this the list of the exes or MSI which won't be allowed to be
Okay.
yeah, which won't be
Okay.
allowed to be installed.
Hmm.
So we can mention those exes or those MSI details there in the setting. So we'll be having the list, we'll be having the boxes like that. So there will be set of box like that, and in that box you will mention that. So that just an example, google.exe.
Hmm.
That won't be executable. It will give you a message or prompt that your organization has blocked this application to be accessed.
Okay.
Like that. I am just finding out that setting. See, if you will see that it says like actually remembering it is not easy. There are so many
Yeah,
administrative
so many
templates. So
configuration,
for that,
administrative
yeah, I'm just talking from the
settings.
understanding perspective that we should understand that from where we need to do, then only we can research or search about it. So that's
Yeah.
important. So in the device Windows configuration profile, create profile, setting catalog, administrative templates, system, then search. See, it also says that search for an and enable don't allow specified Windows applications users.
Mhm.
Okay, I was giving the example of Chrome exe. So enter executable that you don't want to allow Chrome exe to be used. You will mention that Chrome is not allowed. So setting control configure Microsoft Edge or Chrome as a setting. Block access to the URLs. You can mention the list of the URLs also if you are configuring the browser settings. Let me show you that.
Like between one question here, for
Mhm.
example, if you are in running environment, their environment is already set up like for example, one application is already allowed to some set of groups and restricted to some set of groups. Later sometime one user wants to access, so how we can take it forward, and at this scenario what kind of process we need to follow?
Okay, good question. Means it's a scenario based question. Means already the organization has set up the policies and settings,
Yes.
and now there is one user coming up and asks that I need Google to be
Hmm.
accessed on my device. Okay, and Google is blocked already. For some business requirement, the user came. What you will do, you will find out that policy that which is blocking the google.exe. Okay, you will create one group, exclusion group. You will add that user in the exclusion, and then you will add that group in the excluded group of that policy. So any policy that exists in the environment, I will show. uh, I wanted to take it tomorrow, but yeah, if okay, sorry for the background noise. I'm at home today. Windows 10 and later I will configure a normal policy. Rest okay. Just to show you the assignment part. See, Adobe Lock, let's go with it. Adobe Lock. So if you will select any settings, so you will get the option in which one I have selected. Wait, please slow. Administrative templates. Loading. Okay. As you will go here, you will see, so you'll get to know that what are the options available. So if I am blocking something, or we can customize the message also here. That message can be your application is blocked, contact admin. Okay. We can import the image also, so this is also the facility here. Next, scope tags, if not required in this case, if we are assigning this to all users, all devices, so we can select all devices, or we can select the custom groups also. Okay, let me remove it. You can select any group also that you have created if you want to apply this setting to a particular set of the groups. Actually, the tenant is fresh, so there are no groups also. I'm adding all devices. Okay, let's take an example. There is a global policy already. All devices I have added. We have another section called excluded groups. Okay, any user coming and asking that Chrome, I need access to the Chrome, and you have configured the policy for everyone and you want to allow that user to access it, you will create one exclusion group, means in the name of exclusion you will add that group here in the excluded part, so that particular group will be excluded from this configuration profile. This setting means whatever you are applying here, it will be excluded, it won't be applying to all the members those who are part of that particular group. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, anything else from the configuration part?
No. No.
Okay. I think we are good to move with the new topic. Okay, it's gone. Yeah, so these are the examples. You can read how protect is being used, how control of the settings, Windows Hello, retire device and remove data, configure email by allowing end users. So these are the examples you can read. Accordingly, you will get the idea that if any requirement is coming, because talking about interview perspectives, in interviews usually they ask that we want to apply this setting, this particular thing in the organization, or we want to block this thing, is it applicable? is this achievable, or we can perform this or not. So likely like that they will ask, and you have to answer you if you have the understanding that we can do this with the help of the policies. So this statement only will answer them, that if this person is knowing that this thing can be achievable by the policy in the administrative template settings and all, they are not going to ask that which setting needs to be configured and all. No one ask about it, because they might also not be aware about it. So as of now, just for the understanding purpose, just for the knowledge purpose, they ask that whether you know about it or not. One more question I am asking out of this, out of scope from here, that if we don't have the policy, we don't want to do it with the policy. What is the another way that we can impose any setting or impose anything or enforce anything on the device end? Is there any other way?
We
Other
can, yeah, we can use application, right? We can, using the script, we can.
Detection and remediation.
correct, boss. You are always correct.
No, no,
Anyone else?
I'm just Arun gave the right thing in the script that gave me the idea.
Yeah, yeah. That is called script and remediation. So the scripting part, there are two things, platform scripts and remediation scripts. As per the requirement, we are creating platform scripts or remediation scripts. So remediation script requires the detection also to be defined, that if you are pushing, I'm going on another way, leaving the topic. I'll be coming to that. That is also part of the syllabus. We'll be discussing that as well. Scripting part. So these are the examples you can read. Okay. Coming to managing and protecting apps. So main agenda, if you will talk Intune is means I'm working over this technology for last 4 years, but what I consider this as a very simple platform. Okay, it's not as complicated as Azure Active Directory, or if anyone have worked on the Active Directory part or Active Directory platform, it is very much easier than that, because it gives you the options. See, if you're gonna configure any setting, if you're going to create any policy, new policy, it gave option, select platform, that for which platform you want to select. I selected profile type, setting catalog. Okay, then name and all you have done. Coming to configuration profiles, how it is really useful for the end user. If you don't know that what are the settings available in the setting catalog, you can read here. Okay, you are coming for the first time, then you can read here. With the setting catalog, you can choose which setting you want to configure, click or add settings to browse, or search the catalog for the settings you want to configure. So this is the beauty of Intune. Okay, it has made the thing so easy and so user friendly, so admin friendly, that you can go and read and do perform the things. So now we'll be talking managing and protecting apps, ma'am. Okay, MDM part. In the MDM part, we have discussed, anyone what we have discussed from the protecting and security perspective in the MDM part.
No, it's good.
A few topics we have covered regarding security, managing the MDM, mobile devices management part. Now we are shifting towards the application protecting and all. Okay, so from the device management perspective, we configured that automatic enrollment setting, whether we want to allow to all users to auto enroll their devices, or we want to block. That is called the management security. You are securing your environment from the management perspective, that particular set of the devices are only allowed to be enrolled. We'll be learning enrollment restriction also, which was a part of today's agenda.
So Vipin, did you already covered like conflicting profiles and all, how to
Uh,
troubleshoot?
Conflicting profiles, Ramesh, means I didn't get it. What you want to ask with that?
So there are some scenarios, profile conflicts and all, right?
Yeah, yeah. That is configuration profile policy conflicts, we call it. So policy conflicts means if no, I haven't covered that part thing, that thing. That's something which needs to be understood while you are creating any policy. If you have defined some setting in a set of policy, means in a policy, if you have defined some setting in a policy, you cannot go and define the same thing in another policy. And if you have allowed the setting in a policy, in policy A, let's take a policy A name. If you have allowed any setting in a policy A and you are blocking the same setting in the policy B, and you are applying both the policies on a device, so there is going to be a conflict. That's called
Hmm.
conflicting policies.
Vipin, have we covered this enrollment thing? Because it's my
Yeah,
first class.
device enrollment thing, I haven't covered the part of autopilot. Just the basic BYOD enrollment means how it happens. You can go through the recordings. I will provide you the reading content as well. You can go through it if you feel any doubt, because that was so easy topic. Enrolling the devices, going to work or school account, and then adding the accounts. So that was a very easy part. You can go through it. I will share the recording and the content that I have prepared, notes.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Ramesh?
No, Vipin.
Okay. Microsoft Intune gives you a range of features to help you manage and protect apps and data. Okay, so what is the range that it gives us to manage the things with the help of the policy, with the help of the remediation? So it is talking means it is just doing its marketing. Hey, Intune is Microsoft is doing the marketing of Intune, talking about the facilities that can be availed with Intune regarding protecting the application. So there are few examples of app policies. Okay, app policies allows to perform several different types of action to configure and protect apps. By using MAM policies in Intune, you can configure, secure, publish, monitor, update apps for devices and users of your organization. For an example, add and assign apps to devices and users. If you have created any application exists in your environment, you can assign that apps to set up the devices to the set of the users. For an example, there is some licensed app which is very costly like Adobe. Okay, I am taking example of Adobe. Adobe is costly in many of the organizations. They only assign that application on the business requirement basis. You have limited number of license for a particular application. You cannot publish it for everyone. Means you cannot make that application visible in the company portal for everyone. Everyone cannot install that application. What you will do, you will create a group, set up the users, and then you will add those members manually in that group, those who are in need of that application. That is also a task, daily task that usually we get, but we have automated it. So there is automation also that we have defined it with the help of the application packaging involving other teams also. I'll be explaining that part once I'll be explaining that how we configure the application. Okay. Coming to the bulk user creation, let's complete this. Okay, it's finished. Come to the desktop. Okay. PowerShell is installed. First command, it is requesting to execute. So first of all, we will install the module of Microsoft Graph. Why it is required? Because Microsoft Graph API is only helpful to configure the settings from the PowerShell in your Intune. Okay. Post we will run it. It will ask for your tenant details. We will do a yes to all. Stating time.
Within just a small question.
Mhm.
What are the things no we can automate through Graph API?
There are a number of things. It totally depends upon the requirement.
Okay.
So if requirement is coming from the organization that you have to apply this thing, you have to uh, allow or you have to create any setting in the device end. So for that they ask for the automation that it should be done from the back end like autopilot hash upload. Okay, just to remove the manual intervention. So what you will do, you will automate it with the help of Microsoft Graph API. You will put the script that it should pick up the hardware IDs directly from the device and upload it on the SharePoint. And from that SharePoint, it will be uploaded to your Intune tenant. So
Okay.
Graph API usually how it helps? It helps to integrate with the other platforms with your Intune. That is all.
Okay.
So guys, till then it is loading. We can take break for 10 minutes and we can 10 to 15 minutes and then we can come back. Meanwhile, I am sharing it again. It completed. Okay. Okay, let's complete this topic, then we can take break. Now we are going to connect mggraph. We have downloaded the module. Okay. What we are asking mggraph that we are going to perform user read write all and group read write all so that we can create the user and we can create the group also. See, now it is asking for the tenant details that you should provide the tenant details that from which tenant you want to connect it. So if you have some other organization tenant details, you can create the user on the tenant as well. Okay, so I'll be logging with work or school account. I have this tenant with me. Password I forgot. Okay, it will ask that you want giving the consent to it or not. The consent is given. Okay, You have the access to organization apps and services. This is shared services. Make sure remove your information when finished. It is now connected with your organization. Now whatever things you will perform here, that will reflect there. Okay, let's check it. This is our intra users. We are going to create the users. We will see that those users are already there or not. Okay, Cordy Godinage. We are going to create a user identity with the name of Cordy Godinage. I'll be sharing the command lines also with everyone. No need to worry. So Cordy Godinage, no user exists. Okay, we have verified it. Now we are going to configure the user. So this is the command line and we are going to use a constant password as this. Okay, you can modify it as well as per the requirement if you want to configure some other password. This is done. See everything we have defined: department, job title, okay, location also, mail nickname, surname, first name, everything we have defined. Now we are creating it. Same way if you are going to create for the bulk, so you can modify this thing, these commands accordingly, and the user identity will be created in bulk. Now we will verify it here. See, the user is created. So this is the way how the user is being created, and we can get the list of the users also with this command. Okay, so these many users are created.
Just a small question again, Bipin.
Yeah,
First, you have defined the password for that user, and then you have created the user. Is it?
the password is the constant password that is going to be used. See, create a new profile object and then press enter. Replace password with a complex password of your choice. Means if you are going to create the user, whatever the user you are going to create, you cannot define the password directly. So there should be a password, constant password that is going to be used for the first time. So that if the user is going to log in any of the device, it will ask for a password that you have configured from the Intune and from the admin end, and then the user can put his or her own password or a new password.
Okay, it will ask for the password change. Is it?
Yeah, it will ask for the password change. So this is done. We can take break now. So these are the commands I'll be sharing with everyone. So no need to
So
worry.
for Vipin, the password you entered, this password actually require every time we create new user.
In the PowerShell, I think it is not required every time. Means when you are going to create the users, you are using the PowerShell. You have used the PowerShell for some other commands, also something other. So it is required to just let the PowerShell know that I'm going to create the user and keep this as a password for my tenant.
Okay, so it's a tenant password actually.
Not the tenant password, but it will be known that for your tenant, the constant password for a new user is going to be this that you have defined.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, let's take a little break. We'll be coming back in 15 minutes. Okay, I think 15 minutes is enough, or more or less.
No, no, it's fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine.